Yo, yo, yo. What is up? Epic Stream Man here, coming at you live with some Watch Dogs modding. Actually just messing around today, testing, live streaming again, haven't done it in a while. So this won't be a long stream or anything. But I figured might as well test stuff as we're doing things. Um, let's show you what we're working on, I guess. We need a new Google tab. Oh, this is going to be a little trickier than I thought. Give me a new tab. Thank you. Pull a new tab up here. Okay, there we go. That wasn't so bad. Let's just lock it in the middle right here. All right. Let's go over to Nexus Mods. I could get my chat program working, so I'll try to pay attention to chat. In fact, there's probably... Oh, wow. Can't get to the site. That means my interbuds is maxing out, potentially. Let's bring this up here real quick. Let's try... Unless Nexus mods is down. That'd be hilarious. No, it's here. There we go. So let's see what the zoom view is again. Zoom is more kind of over here. All right. And then kind of down here-ish. All right. So yeah, we working on... Oh, that came up. Finally. Oh, my Zoom screen's got camera. Hold on. We don't got the camera on today. So yeah, we're working on the Epic mod pack. The beta access granted. So I have been trying to update my mod pack for a while. It's on version 1.777, which had all of these fun things built into it. Now I've been trying to update it, but I haven't. So many different mods have been coming out. I haven't had the chance to like test it all thoroughly like I normally would do. So I was like, we'll put the beta out there for people to help test as we update it. And I'll keep a stable version for people to go back to if they're having issues. So the biggest thing we updated first was new version of Living City came out with all of these extra stuff. It's got a cool new fuel system, auto hide HUD system, two-handed driving. You can now stay zoomed in. It's got hip fire, body cam, which is almost like a third-person mode, which is kind of nice. And a bunch of fixes and other graphical tweaks. And then we also updated to Living City add-ons version 3.3, which we had to make compatible with the new Living City because 3.3 is not compatible with the latest version of Living City out of the box. But that's got crouch anywhere. Vehicle names also display faction information if available, and focus mode in inventory no longer refills your focus bar, which I don't really like, but you know, it is what it is. We can always tweak that off later. I kind of liked refilling, but it is kind of cheating. Hacking wheel and hacking mode are disabled by default, which is fine. You can always re-enable them. It's got some control layouts for how you do the different things, like shoulder switch and toggle mask and all that. So this is what I've been working on. This has been released for like almost 4 weeks now. So I really want to get an update out there. And today is Watchdog's birthday. Well, technically midnight, but so soon, depending on your time zone. Blah blah blah. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. There's a few updates I've gotten going so far. Let me put the chat back down here. Actually, hold on. We wanted to pop out the chats so I can read them. So let's do that. We'll do pop out chats. Pop out chat. Throw that down there. And then can we do pop out chat here? Is that a thing you can do on YouTube? Yeah, you can. Cool. All right. Now we will throw that. No, throw that there. And, oh, not what we wanted. Throw that back up here. Sorry, I got a third screen that I'm trying to arrange the chats on down here. There we go. All right, we'll just minimize that then. So yeah, beta access is now on 1.87 of my mod pack. Like I said, we've updated Living City and Living City add-ons, but I want to add on to that further. So that's what we're working on next. And to do that, let's see, let's go into mods. EMP 187, and let's open up what we were working on. So, zoom in a bit. So, our 187, the first build we put out, like I said, has that. Oh, yeah, we also skipped the save icon screen. Beyond that, I fixed Living City add-ons, gas and fuel icon. Actually, that's not add-ons. That's just Living City. Well, yeah. Fix for classic UI. So classic UI, which is part of my normal mod pack. Part of the classic flavor version of my normal mod pack, classic UI mod. That messes with the fuel icon normally in the new Living City because it's got the new fuel system. So I had to make my own custom version of that to fix that issue. We got a new menu background, which I'll show you guys in a minute. Tweaked car crash physics. So this is supposed to make cars more physically. Cars normally are overpowered. Car crashing is overpowered in normal Watchdogs, so this tones it down a little bit. This is only going to be in the classic flavor version of my mod. And also, Ghost Vehicles Be Gone is another tweak to vehicles. And this is only going to be in the classic flavor of my mod because I'm still not sure if I like it yet. And this tweaks the basically the hitboxes of the car to be more realistic, from my understanding. So I thought we'd try that out. There's a default outfit missing polygon fix. That's on both versions of my mod. Modified contacts audio log icons. The classic UI version has its own version of that, from what I can see. So I'm going to have the two different versions there. And then both versions get enhanced traffic diversity. So that's what I've built so far. Now I want to update this to add the following things. I want to do for classic flavor. I want to do E3 headlights with the anamorphic lens flares. Um, and for classic flavor, I also want to do beta trees, just so I can kind of compare the difference between my base mod and my classic flavor of my mod. So there'll still be two versions of even my beta mod pack. You'll have the base mod pack and the classic flavor uh, add-on, optional add-on. Beyond that, I want to add native dithering shader object, um, Bob's smooth cam, overheat, uh, which is actually a pretty cool mod. Actually, there's a link right here we can show you. Did that work? Yeah, we'll go here. This is kind of a neat little mod. It basically allows you to hack vending machines in the game so that they explode. You can hack them once to just pop out a soda can, but then there'll be a extra hack you can do that you have to time to basically cause it to overheat and explode, which is pretty neat. Is there an image of that? No, not really. So I want to try that out. That looked pretty cool. And what else? There's this a new mod which causes the game to boot up like at least 30 seconds faster, if not more, which is kind of cool. And hold on, let me pull this up here so I can see chat. Yeah. What what else is down here? Oh, okay. There we go. Now I can see it. Yeah, so I was saying this basically when the game boots up and there's a little Watchdog splash screen, normally it's trying to do a whole system performance check to give you recommended settings in game. And it does that every time you boot up, which takes a little bit. And so this is just actually hard codes it so it bypasses that check and it boots up in like less than 4 seconds instead of over 30 seconds. So yeah, this I definitely want to include in my mod pack. That's pretty cool. Um, this I want to try out too. This new 16x anoscopic filtering. I have a parallel lines old one in my mod pack, so I wanted to try that one to see what the big difference is. And then LC add-ons plus extras. So I've been working with DVD Blu-ray on an updated version, even from version 3.3 of add-ons to uh, include a lot of his mods plus the Fox mod, but making those all compatible with Living City, the latest version of Living City v2.9. So we've been working on that. I've been testing it out a bit. Seems pretty good. So I want to see about including that in this next update too. But the one I didn't talk about much. I've been also working with my buddy Bob on his smooth cam mod, and we've been tweaking it to our liking. It's a great combination of a bunch of different camera mods out there. Let me show you guys that really quick. So, smooth camera mod. So the big thing for him is, and I was in the same boat as well, so this was perfect to work on him together with this. Is there is a lot of cool camera mods out there, like the profiler dynamic depth of field that's already built into Living City. I wanted to keep that because that's really nice. Then Bubsy came out with his camera mod, which is a very dynamic transitions and depth of field while in and out of cover. We really liked bits and pieces of that. We of course have the hybrid vehicle cams, which are already in my mod pack. We wanted to keep those. And then our buddy Lex 80s on the server had his own personal camera mod, which was a combination of Sad Gamers, Depth of Field, and retro aiming cams. So we kind of took bits and pieces from all of those, and then Bob added his own smoother transitions and got rid of the snapping effects where it tries to recenter your camera when you're looking around and driving. So that's a lot smoother. It's not instant. So it's just overall smoothness of all the camera views and transitions was his goal, using a lot of the best parts of all these different camera mods, which I think is really cool. I think he's got some videos that show it off here. Let's see. This just shows off so this is the body cam view that you can go into with Living City and see how you can look around really nice and smooth while driving. So this is the only way to really get a behind the handlebars view in a motorbike now, is with this body cam from Living City. And then he's made it tweaked it a bit to make it a bit smoother, and so it doesn't auto snap and center and all that stuff. So that's really cool. And then here's some of the aiming and cover transitions, I think. Yeah, it's the over the shoulder cams that are in Living City and the zoom cameras. So all of this is compatible with the latest version of Living City, which is nice. I'll have to show you guys more of the cover cams and all that once we get this in my mod pack. So that's basically what I'm working on. Is I want to go through and add this stuff. So let's see. Let's go ahead and let's do the aniscopic filtering because that should be pretty quick and easy. And then we'll probably, I already got this. I just got to put it in my mod pack. And then let's go ahead and this is going to be a shader object. This also includes a shader object. These are going to be a little bit more complicated. So let's do the 16x aniscopic filtering and Bob's cam. So 16x aniscopic filtering should be pretty easy. Let's go back to main view here. Let's save this for now. And let's pop this up here for now. And what do we got up here? Okay, so yeah, here's my MP. So the main ones I'm working on here are my classic flavor patch 1 file and my base regular patch file. So the way it should look in game, let's bring that back up here, here is my Steam folder, I believe. Yep, Steam. I go into the DAT64 folder where you normally put mods. You see we got patch and patch 1 files. So these are what I'm building and adding new mods into. The thing to remember about patch files is anything in patch 1 will override what's in patch 2. So you want to be careful about what files you put in these things. If the same file exists in patch 1 that exists in your regular patch file, it'll override that. Now I kind of use that to my advantage here to do add-ons like the classic UI that's built into my classic flavor add-on. So the way the classic flavor add-on works, you'll see it here. It adds classic UI and 2013 vehicle handling. You look at the files here, optional classic flavor add-on, you'll see that it's just patch 1 files. Now my base mod pack comes with um, patch and patch 1 files, but these patch 1 files really only hold the loading screens and stuff like that, the custom loading screens I have. There's really not much else that's in this patch 1 file. So when you add on classic flavor add-on, you're actually overwriting those patch 1 files that have their own loading screens and stuff like that in it, along with the classic UI mod and the 2013 vehicle handling. So that way you keep all of the mods that are in my base patch files, and you're adding on to with a new version of patch 1 files, basically, is how that works. And at some point we'll update my Epic Shader pack too with a bunch of cool new shaders and stuff like that, but that's not even in the cards for today. So we need to work on patch 1 stuff. Now, what I think I'm going to do is I am going to make a copy of what I currently have. Well, actually, let's look at the mods. Let's not make this overcomplicated. So if I go to my mods, and let's see if we can find the aniscopic 16x aniscopic filtering. Do I have it? Lots of things with 16 in it. Ah, there it is. That's probably it. Fix 16x aniscopic filtering. So this is just a single file that goes into, so that's a really easy upgrade. So this just goes into engine shaders, and it's just a sample rate state XML file. What's cool, actually, we can look at the differences real quick because I'm kind of curious. So I'm going to end up putting this right into my base patch file. So if I go into engine and what is it, shaders, sample rate. Now if I go to, I highly recommend this tool called WinMerge for doing these kind of mods. Hold on one second. Let me test something here. Test. Just want to make sure my stream's still going. Test. OBS looks strong. This back up here. Okay. Oh, we still going. Excellent connection. All right. So what I'm going to do is compare the current sample state XML file that's in my patch right now with the modded one. So I'm just going to drag this. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. We're comparing these two. And then, oh shit, we can see there are definitely lots of changes. So this is my current one file on the left here, and this is the new file on the right. And it can barely match these up because there's so many different changes. So yeah, you just look at this section here, sample shatter quality, and this adds a line here. This is just slightly differently spaced out, so that's not really a big change. But yeah, there's lots of additional things here. So this actually could be pretty nice, or it could cause a lot of changes that don't really work. And this is why we have to test stuff, right? So a lot of changes, but we're gonna go ahead and pop it in here. So I'm just going to copy that over, replace, and we're good. Now, the other thing we want to look at is our buddy Bob's camera, which I want to make sure I got the latest version of. And date added. Let's see what he called it. Bob Smooth Cam files preview manual download. Huh? Do I not have the current version? Doesn't think I do. All right. Well, now we got it. Maybe he updated it. All right. Let's see. Did he update this? May 23rd. Version 1.2. Version 1.2. Yep. Okay, yeah, maybe he did update it since I last downloaded this. So it comes with the loose files, which we're most likely going to do. And it looks like it updates these 4 camera files. So we want to compare that with our current one just to make sure we're not overwriting anything. He has full patch 1 files. If you just want to test it, you can back up your current patch 1 files, just throw these over, and it should basically override those same 4 files that are in your patch, so you can easily test them and just remove the patch 1. We're going to incorporate these directly into our main patch file though. So that way it works for both. But before we do that, like I said, we want to compare. And this is what you should do for any mod that you're want to merge into your patch. You should always, I mean, unless you know you don't care about the cams that are there and all that. If you want to make sure you're not screwing anything else up with existing mods or files that you have in there, it's always good to compare. One of the ways I like to do that is I'm going to go and create, I think I might already have one, but I keep a folder called X loose for loose files to, yeah, here's Bob Smooth Cam. All right, so I'm just going to make a new folder here called, oh, wrong key. New folder here called Bob Smooth Camera BSC 1.2 because it's version 1.2. You can call it whatever you want. And I'm going to take his files. If I can find where that folder is. Got too many windows open. Bob Smooth Cam. All right, we'll just go back here. There it is. Okay. And we'll go into his loose files, and we're just going to grab the stuff from in here, put it there. You know what? Just for fun too, because I'm curious. As a CQ or quality control for our buddy Bob, I want to make sure those patch 1 files match. So let's show you a little bit about patch 1 files. All right, so we got both versions. This is the loose files, and these are the compiled or encoded or compressed patch files. So what I want to do then is go to my tools and get the latest version of modding tools and then gib tools. And what we're going to do is unpack this patch 1 file using gib tools unpack. And that's going to give us a folder of unpacked files, the same thing. So we got the generated folder with all the other folders underneath here. and then this is the old mod from the 16th, so it's an older version of it. Don't worry about that. And then we have generated loose files that, so these are the unpacked versions of the same mod, and the loose files are the same mod. So basically, I made loose files out of the packed files. I just want to compare those really quick to make sure they match. They should match because they should be the same exact thing. And according to WinMerge, it looks like they are. That's all green check marks, and we didn't get a pop-up saying that there's any that don't match. So that's great. That's perfect. That tells me we're good. I can actually just delete these patch things because the same exists in our loose files. Now, what I want to do is compare those with my same files. So I need to grab the ones from my mod pack. And just to know what those are, I'm going to put those up over here. Just to know what those 4 files are that I need, I'm just going to have those over here. And then I'm going to go back to my EMP folder. So we put in the new 16x aniscopic filtering mod into my EMP folder. Now I'm going to go into my generated database generic files, which have a ton of other stuff because it's a full mod pack. And I want to create a folder here called EMP 187. And I want to drag in the same stuff. Actually, I want to create the same folder structure too. So I'm just going to copy these, paste them in here, go under here, and just delete these. Actually, I'll overwrite them. So I just made a copy of the modded ones under my 187, and I'm just going to pick out and copy over camera stuff. Camera. So we want presets. Where is presets? Right here. We want this one. Camera, no, it's camera avatar presets. Camera context, that's this one up here. And vehicle presets, which is this one. And we want camera vehicle presets with the F blah, 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 this one. So these 4 files from my mod pack, we're going to copy here and replace the modded ones. Cool. Now, let's go back here. All right, we'll get rid of that for now. So now, essentially, we have loose files of the ones from my mod pack and loose files of the ones we want to update from Bob's smooth cams. If I compared these right now, they're still encoded. It's just going to tell me there's a difference, but it's going to be hard to see what those differences are. All right. Well, the good news actually is camera presets and this one are the same. So we actually only need to worry about context and vehicle presets. Interesting. So this is telling me whatever Bob has in his smooth cam is probably from Living City, and that's why it matches mine. So this is probably like the depth of field stuff and whatnot from Living City, which is why it matches mine. So if we go into, let's make a copy of the Bob Smooth Cam, and we'll just call this combined. This is going to be what we want to copy over to our mod pack, essentially. I want to keep this normal and the same. I don't want to change the original files there. I want to change and combine anything here if we need to. So this is going to be basically my patch for Bob's Smooth Cam to put into my mod pack once we're done here. And that way we'll keep all his files normal. This is an older version, like I said. Back to, why don't we make a folder for that just so we don't get confused about that in the school future. Bob Smooth Cam, I think it's just 1.0. So let's call it Bob Smooth Cam 1.0. It's probably even a beta version. So I'll throw that in there so I don't have to worry about it. Combined is the one we're going to care about in the end. That's the one we want to make a combination of these two, basically. And that's why I called it combined. Housekeeping? Oh, Siege is here. What up, Siege? We're doing modding stuff, man. I don't got a lot of crazy stuff going on today. We'll actually play the game here in a minute once I get this camera file loaded just to test it out. So give me a second here. We need to look at these two files. So to look at these two files, we need to actually break them down. Actually, that's not what I want to break them down. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into my combined one now. I'm going to get rid of vehicle presets, both of these, because we don't need them because they're the exact same that are in my mod pack. I could leave them there, but just copying them over. This says they're identical, so there's no reason. This says these aren't identical, so we need to see why they're not identical. And to do that, I'm actually going to go back into my tools, if I can find them. And we are going to use convert binary object. Because right now, if we try to open up this lib file, here, I'll show you guys. Open with Notepad++. It's yeah, it's a binary object of just stuff you can't read. You can't tell what's going on. So we need to convert it to something we can tell what's going on. And you'll see what's kind of cool about these library files is they're actually a library of XML files, which is just like a library of setting files. So if I bring it to this convert binary object, it's going to actually create a folder of a bunch of XML files. Actually, it's only one for this one. And a file list, a main file list file. Now, if I go in here, it's just going to be that one file that exists. So it's basically going to list everything that's in that folder, which is only that one file. If I do this other lib, there'll probably be more stuff in that one. So we did the avatar presets. Now let's do this camera context. That'll probably have more stuff in it. So I just drag that over to convert binary object as well. And camera context has a bunch of stuff in it. So this is going to be the fun one to match up. So that's got a bunch of stuff in it. If I look at the file list for that one, you'll see all of those files listed there that are in that folder. That's important to note, only because it's Watchdogs modding, Siege. That's important to note because whatever's in this main file list XML, this is what you use to convert it back to the lib. In fact, we can get rid of these libs right now because we're going to be creating new ones from these. So once you try to convert this back, it's going to just go off of the files that are listed in here. So if you add or remove any from inside these folders, you also want to add and remove them from the file list. Otherwise, it may miss some of your changes. So keep that in mind. I don't think we'll be adding or removing any. We'll see here in a minute. So basically, I've converted all of these to XML so we can actually see what's in them. And so that's going to be our modded versions. Now I want to go in and compare those to what's currently in my mod pack. I need to do the same thing. I think it was these vehicle presets we don't need. So just get rid of those. And I'm going to just convert binary on both of these as well. And that made them into their files. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the library files because we don't need them. We just need the broken down versions of them. So now we have broken down versions of my my current mod pack and the new Bob Smooth cam that we want to add. So that's in combined, and these are my current mod pack ones. So what we're going to do now is just compare those two folders. And then we should see a bunch of differences. In fact, I'll just go here and say expand all folders. So here's the avatar preset one. Let's deal with that first. Now this is showing the one from my mod pack currently on the left, and the one from Bob Smooth Cam on the right, the one we want to add. Now, I just basically want to sanity check this and see what he's changing to see if it makes sense. Blend time he's reducing, that's fine. Blend time there he's increasing a little. I'm just gonna go through these. These all look like minor changes that make sense to me. There isn't anything from my current mod pack that I need to keep. So what I'm actually going to say is I'm not going to touch that one because I'm going to end up using the combined one anyway. That's good. These are the exact same. That's good. That means they're not missing. In fact, that's what we should check next. Let's go ahead and get rid of I don't care about identical things, stuff that already matches. I'm also going to get rid of unique right and left. That didn't change anything. I'm going to get rid of differences. So let's do this one at a time. I want to see if there's any unique files that are in my mod pack that aren't in his. There aren't any. I want to see if there's any in his mod that aren't in my mod pack. There aren't any. So all that's left are differences. And these are probably what just makes up his mod pack. So all in all, I think this is going to tell me I can just use his two files there and we're good, because overwriting these stuff to my mod pack is what I want. If there was anything that's in my mod pack that wasn't in his or vice versa, that's where it would get a bit more complicated in how we want to merge it. So let's just look at some of these changes and make sure they make sense. So for this camera, he's changing the follow, enter time, and pitch. So it doesn't follow, and he's changing the delays for whatever these are. I don't even know what these do. So that looks like what I would expect a difference between my current camera and his camera mod. I'm just going to spot check a few others. Same kind of pattern, just a couple differences. Spot check a few others. Same pattern, just a couple differences. So you can see this is all his mod is doing, is it's just changing a few values on a couple different lines of all of these files. Some have a bit more, so this is kind of interesting actually. So mine has for cover, he took out clamping at max. I don't know exactly what that does. He's also took out some other things, which is interesting. And see, if I knew what this was and I didn't like it and I wanted to keep that, I could say copy this over here too and then save it. That way, when I use this combined file, when I'm done, it'll actually be a combined version between the two. But honestly, I'm just going to go with what he's got for now. I can always look at redoing this later if there's something that I feel is missing from my mod pack versus his mod. The only other thing I really care about that I want to look at is anything that deals with vehicles and helicopters. Because in my mod pack, I have helicopters as a vehicle you can drive. Oh, I gotta ban that guy in a second. Oh, we got somebody. Hey, Rush Riders in the YouTubes. What up, man? We're just showing off how to mod, but I think I'm about to drop this mod in my pack, and then we're gonna test it out for a bit, so you get to see some game here in a second. So I don't see helicopter camera here as being different, which is good. So let's go ahead and open it up to identical items and let's just get rid of difference. And then let's see if we can find helicopter. Yeah, there it is. So his helicopter is the same as my helicopter cam. That's perfect. I didn't think he made any changes to helicopter, and if he did, I would definitely want to look at them because I wouldn't want it to screw up my being able to drive a helicopter mod that's in my mod pack. So that's great. All these got green check marks. That means they're not any different from what's already in my mod pack. That's great. So that's basically how you use WinMerge. So I would say whatever is in combined, I am good with. So what we could do is go ahead and wrap these back up into library files again. And we could do that just by dragging these main file list XMLs back to convert binary objects. It'll convert it back into a library file. And we'll do the same thing with this one. Convert it back into a library file. Then we can get rid of all these broken down files because all we need is the libs. So now this combined thing is what I need to slap into my mod pack. And we got his cameras that are compatible with my mod pack that aren't going to screw anything else up because we double checked it by doing all the compares. So all I need to do now is go to my mod pack here, go to the combined folder here, and just slap that. Actually, I don't want to move it. I want to copy it because I want to keep it here as well. Copy it, go over here. It's going to ask that I want to replace those files. So we're actually replacing those two camera files or libraries in my mod pack. So now we've added the aniscopic filtering and the Bob Smooth Cam. Now we get to test them out. So let me save that. And what I need to do is we'll go ahead and get rid of that. We just need to take my patch. Let's go ahead and delete this one from the other day. And we need to go to our gib tools and we need to pack this. So I'm going to take this whole folder of loose files and use the gib tool pack exe, which it's going to take a second to process. And then it just created these two files here, which I'm going to rename them as patch, because that's what they need to be called, patch.dat and patch.fat, in order to work with the game. And we're going to go over to our game folder, if I still have it here. Here we go. Game folder, and we're going to copy these over, the current patch files that are there, and replace them. So now we have brand new patch files. These patch 1 files will, of course, override anything in our patch file, but that should only have the stuff that's signified as classic flavor stuff, which shouldn't mess with any of the things we just did. So that's going to do gas and fuel icon, main menu screen, car crash physics, and a more vehicle physics stuff. That's not going to mess with anything that we just put in our base patch, which is this aniscopic filtering or Bob Smooth Cam. So we should be good there. Now let's test it out and make sure we're good. Now if I run this, oh yeah, I might have to log into Ubisoft or whatever. Yes, close. close. I don't care about you, Steam. And once this actually comes up to the splash screen should only come up for like half a second. Or like 2 seconds. There's the splash screen in the background there. And then right into the game. It's a lot quicker. So my mod pack has a Nexus mod logo. It skips the start icons, but it's kind of a farce because it's just a blank screen for a second. And this is my custom menu. I don't know why the audio is not coming through. Hold on 1 second, guys. I noticed the desktop audio is not coming through. Probably because I don't have it selected. Realtek audio speakers. There we go. Actually, let me turn it down a little because my mic is a bit softer than normal. All right. So, yeah, this is my mod pack. I shared your stream to general chat back in the stream. Oh, thanks, man. That's pretty cool of you. Thank you, Rush Rider. And let's get into the game. Now, this loading screen here is the one that's in my classic flavor of the mod. This, I believe Rush Rider shared with everybody. Let me make sure I got that in my mod pack. The EMA blah 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 by Rush Rider. See, Rush Rider, we're using your thing. It's now in the classic flavor version of my mod pack. I see the hype icons. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I just thought it fit really well, especially for the classic flavor version of my mod pack. The base mod pack is going to have Bubsy's background like I had before in my last version. But I thought your version was very classic and deserved to be in my classic flavor add-on for my mod pack. So that it is. So now we should have Bubsy's smooth cam. Let's find out. So yeah, you'll see this has got the cover depth of field like Bubsy's cam does. And then it's got a lot of other stuff tweaked, the aiming cameras. It supports the Living City shoulder swap and zoom. But it's got the depth of field in it too, which is nice. And then we got one of the new things I had Bob add to his smooth cam was unlocked body cam view. So normally the body cam view in Living City, you can't look around much. So he unlocked it for me so you can still look around. Now the difference between the body cam view and the normal cam view for most vehicles is it's centered right in the car. Some it's back a bit more, some it is what it is. If I go to out of the body cam view, oh, you can see the icons for Living City. It shows the speed and the gas in your car. This car is all fueled up. So if I switch some of the cams, so I had them unlock the normal behind the dash cam as well, so you can look around a lot more. And you can even go up and down a bit, which is kind of nice. You can even look at Aiden's face and like clip through it a little bit. So I really like that. I always thought you should be able to look around more. I don't know if I'll be able to show this off on stream, but let's see. So one of the big things he did was make it so if you're looking around while driving like this, it doesn't try to like auto snap right away like it just did there. It does it really smooth and slow and not right away. You got a little bit of extra time to look around before it tries to auto snap back to the center. Did the same thing for riding bikes, and it's got some really nice cornering on riding the bikes. One of my favorite things, though, is going into body cam view, which, like I said, is kind of like a first-person view. and then driving a bike. So this is the only way you can get like a behind the handlebars cam. Because normally when you are playing, you only get like, well, let's go back to normal view. You only get your normal behind the bike views, or this is your basic dash cam view, which you don't get to see shit in the normal game. Okay, I can already see I don't like the aniscopic filtering that I just put in. So we're gonna have to undo that. This was something I was hearing from some people, but you see how it's highlighting around the car? You can see the outline of the vehicle. I don't know how well that's coming across on stream, but it's very apparent to me. And it should be the same thing with people too. So maybe this version of aniscopic filtering is not for me. Let's try changing the TX, the anti-aliasing settings in game though, and see if that makes a difference. Let's just go ahead and turn it off. No. Here, let's try to zoom in. Maybe you guys can see it better. Again, I don't know how well it's coming on stream, but like see around the tire, it's like highlighted. Everything looks outlined. So I will have to comment that to the creator of the aniscopic filtering and let them know. Oh, you can especially see it in the windows of the vehicles, like at the right angle. Let's see if I can get the, let's go for a park car. Yeah, okay, like right there. You see through the window to the side windows. Let me try to zoom in here. See how that even highlights those? Yeah, I don't like that. Don't like that. Just not realistic. So this is why we test stuff. I'm sure the aniscopic filtering does some other cool things, but I don't I don't like that. Normally I run on built-in filtering or anti-aliasing for temporal SMA because that's the best, I think. Oof! First person cam. Ooh, that's a nice car. So this is the body cam view. Like I said, it's just nice to have a different view. It's centered as opposed to right behind the cam. Now let's go in a big truck like this and see if we can see the difference. Oh wow, this one's like centered behind the console in the back even. So it depends on the vehicle, like where the body cam's gonna end up. Let's try this big van over here. See what that looks like. I love being able to look around though in the vehicle. Hey, where you going, van? All right, so this is centered. We can kind of look to the side. All right. I love how you can like look around and drive. It's a little trickier to drive. Let's see about like going around a corner or something like that. Yeah, you kind of got to follow it. All right, let's get out of body cam view and just go to dash view. Sorry, I was trying to look around while driving. So let's just drive straight. Kill a bunch of pedestrians. And let's try to like drift around a corner here. Okay, the camera follows pretty well there. I didn't have to turn it that much. Yeah, I just kind of held it steady, and it followed. So let's try body cam view again. And to do body cam view again, we have to get out of the vehicle, activate body cam again, get back in the vehicle. See, that's one thing I might mention to Bob is the body cam view doesn't seem to follow the turn, which I think I would prefer, but I'll have to get his opinion on that too. I can manually follow it, but it's a little trickier for sure. All right. I think I like it though. We got our cover cams, which if you poke your head out, you can. So you get that depth of field because you're behind cover, and if you poke your head out, you can. It becomes clearer, or if you aim, it becomes clearer. But yeah, that aniscopic filtering, I do not like.
State your emergency. This is an emergency. Please send help. Can you hear me? I need you to stay on the line.
And we got that classic UI felony meter down there. Let's go ahead and reload. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of this aniscopic filtering though. We'll go back to normal aniscopic filtering. Yeah, the way the aniscopic filtering is.
You gotta get the cops here. Everything's going to hell. CTOs can't authorize initializing search for suspect now. Still searching. Be advised, units are en route to the suspect's location.
No, they can't catch me. Gave him the slip. Whoa. All right. Well, good tests. We're not going to use that aniscopic filtering. And I think, like I said, I think I like the cams, so we'll keep those. And like I said, I'll mention to the creator of the aniscopic filtering the issue.
This hacker's crossing the line.
Is this an actual online hacker?
Teach him a lesson.
No, this is just 2x the top. The circle didn't shrink. Oh, there it goes. It shrank at 31. Weird.
This guy should be close now.
That was rude. Hey.
Where are you little bitch? Oh, yes.
He has a gun. Oh, Jesus. He has a gun. Oh, no.
Oh, good. I needed that.
Yeah, they're usually hiding in plain sight. Alright, I gotta get rid of this aniscopic filtering though. it killing me, man. So we are going to nix that. And we'll put this down here as did not like. And message creator to fix outlining issue. All right, so what we will do actually is there is aniscopic filtering. We can get it actually from the older version of my mod pack, but let's go in here. Let's delete these because we're going to make new ones. And we are going to go in here. Oh, wait. Yeah. Regular patch, engine, shaders, and this. And I think source texture collection has the original one from Parallel Lines. Let's go find that really quick. Let's go. If we go to follow Windy City, maybe it was actually in there. Follow Windy City. Factions, police overhaul. Factions redux. Compatibility. That's the packed version. Okay, maybe it was source textures collection. So we'll go to parallel lines and look at their other mods. And let's do sort, or let's see if it was part of that. Source texture collection. There it is, native aniscopic filtering, and it should be that same file. So we are going to grab parallel lines version of it, which is what we should have been using in our mod pack. We already have it apparently. And we are just gonna replace that back into our mod pack. All right, this is patch 187 engine shader folder. This is the engine shader folder. So yeah, we just need to pop that there. Place it. That'll give us back to parallel lines version of the aniscopic filtering, which didn't have the outline issue. And then let me check classic UI actually. Somebody was telling me this had an FOB fix, which I wanted to try. Main add-ons, extras, extras, extras. Ultrawide fix. Let's try these actually. Oh wait, now the ultra-wide fix actually. Oh, that okay, that's different. GPS configuration. That's under generate database is generic. All right, let's test that actually. Yeah, I already have that too, but sure, we'll download it again real quick. Classic UI, ultra-wide fix. All right. So the ultra-wide fix, I'm actually going to pop into our patch 1 file just to test it out. So we replaced we reverted back basically to the 16x filtering we were using before. And now we are going to, I'm going to update classic UI. Actually, let's make a test version, a new test version. I'm going to copy my patch 1 classic UI. I'm going to call it test. And I just want to test out this FOV fix to see if it overwrites anything we currently have. It does replace files, interesting. Let me decide. So they all 3 exist. So I'm going to cancel. So what do we got here? We got UI, fire, bin. UI, fire, bin, and shelf view. Okay. Not sure what that does. It's a view file, which is like a flash file, which is a bit complicated to actually compare to see what the difference is. Plus generated database generic. You only has one of these. Let's see. Generated database is generic. It's got this one. I don't know. It's got both of these. Okay. So the thing it doesn't seem to have is Worlds Windy City generated DLC pills. Worlds Windy City generated DLC pills. Oh, it does have that. Okay, so we're overwriting a bunch of stuff. That could potentially mess up classic UI, but let me see something. We're using the 2012 version for most stuff. And let's see if any of those files are part of this. It doesn't look like it actually, so I think we're okay. My concern is if these updated the main mod files, like this file here, and I forget what the other one was. GPS, I don't know where that one comes from. And then also okay, so we're using the 2012 style for most stuff, but that means we copied the main files. We put the 2012 files on top of them. As long as these ultrawide fixes don't mess with the 2012 stuff, then I think we'll be all right, actually. So I'm okay with that. So let's go ahead and incorporate that. So we are going to do all of these 4 files. Is there any extras? We're not using brand week. We're not using buttons. We're not hiding elements. We're not using the Watch Dogs 2 save icon. So yeah, really just these ultra-wide fixes are what we want to add. And like I said, after looking at how it's set up and structured, I don't think we need to compare. I'm pretty happy with trying it. We're going to try it on a test version anyway. So let's go ahead and overwrite them. So we're just going to take all this stuff, slap it into our test version. And then I want to make a note with ultra-wide fixes. Ultra-wide fixes by parallel lines. And this will just link to classic UI because that's where it comes from. All right. So we put that in the test patch. Now we need to test out that test patch. So to do that, let's go ahead and get rid of this. We're going to go back here and we're just going to create a packed version of that. So we need our gib tools. I'm going to drag this over to pack. And we are going to rename these as patch 1 because that's how we do it. Where did my patch files go? Oh, did I just move them last time? I thought I copied them. Whatever. So these are the test ones. So our aniscopic filtering should be fixed now, and we apply the FOV fix. Whatever that does exactly. Or the, sorry, ultra-wide fix. Which I am running. Sort of ultra-wide. I'm at a 2-to-1 aspect ratio at the moment, but I usually play ultra-wide when I'm not streaming. So that's why we wanted the ultra-wide fix. There's that sexy new background video. Thank you, Rush Rider, for finding that and putting that out there. Oh, Rush Rider, if you're still listening, I did change it slightly. I remixed the audio on it because it was far too loud for me anyway, compared to like my main menu and whatever my normal volume set at. I had to turn it like way down. So I think I dropped it by like 15 decibels, maybe 20. I don't remember exactly. But it was just, yeah, it was way too loud. All right, so we shouldn't have the aniscopic filtering problem anymore. Oh, we do actually, because I forgot. We put that in our regular patch file. All right, good thing Watch Dogs loads up really quick. So we are going to take our regular patch file again, and repack that. And then we added the test stuff to our patch one for the widescreen fix. So we just want to call these patch, and we want to slap these over here. All right. This is how you mod, guys. Even though this is beta, I'm still doing at least some basic testing before I put these out. Stream seems to be going good still. I'm dual streaming on YouTube and Twitch, so I really wanted to test that again to make sure it works well before I do an actual stream. Game loads up so much quicker. All right. Okay, good. The highlighting's gone. I almost saw a ghost image of it for a second there. Oh yeah, look at the aim cam too. You got depth of field while aiming. Because he's like focusing on the reticle, right? So it goes a bit blurry back in the background. It's kind of nice. So aniscopic filtering's fixed. FOV should be fixed. So I think that basically made the smartphone menu smaller so it should fit easier. I don't really see a change on the mini map or anything like that. Let's go ahead and change our FOV a bit. Normally I run it at like 1.2 or 3. So let's see how it looks at 1.3. And if I bring up the map, it does seem fixed. So theoretically, if I actually, let's do the opposite and run it at like 75 FOV, really zoomed in. Wow, that works great. So normally when I bring up the smartphone menu, it can go off the sides of the screen because of my FOV being different for ultra wide. I'm kind of just mimicking that at the moment because we're not actually ultra wide. And then this too would go off the screen normally, but that totally seems fixed. So yeah, I don't know why I didn't use this FOV fix before. All right, let's just go back to 1. The ultra wide fix, along with Sad Gamer Tools FOV multiplier setting, is like the perfect combo. The perfect combo. Oh, so one of the things we fixed in this mod pack is defaults outfit. So let's go ahead and, oh wait, we can't pick defaults outfit because of my save file right now. All right. Oh wait, do we have glitch outfit? Oh, we do have default. He's just listed under all for some reason. Okay. So default's outfit, there's normally like a hole in the back of his jacket, and that's a fix that James Lark worked on with Lex that we now have in the mod pack. No more hole in the back of the jacket. All right, I want to check something out. Actor, no player, glitch. There we go. Okay, we do have that. Yeah, I don't use this one a lot, but it is a pretty cool outfit. So this is an outfit that's normally not accessible because it's in the game files, but it's not used anywhere. There's no way to put it on or wear it, and it should be in my normal mod menu. We'll check that a little bit, but we're able to get to it just using sad gamers stuff. There's the Hollywood cam from the hybrid vehicle cams. It is a bit hard to drive on it. It's like driving like a model of the city. But yeah, this is cool. So we got our speed, we got our gas. Why are there bad guys over here?
Watch out! Whoa! What's his problem?
Oh, it's a cop. It's a cop. Oh, we're getting shot at. The hell you are. Whee.
Stand by, squad. Suspect got away on us. We'll do another sweep.
We're in the dome of protection. Nobody can see us. No, you can't find me. I'm in the dome of protection. Actually, I want to try something. Somebody was telling me about this. You can get inside and then run around inside the donut. We're inside the donut. You can run around inside of it.
Nice.
Sup, motherfuckers? Oh shit! I just dropped through the ground. Oh, I never got on top of the dome. That'd be cool. Can't find me. This would be a great place to hack, actually. I don't think I've ever tried a bomb jump up here. Nice reflections. RTX, baby. No. Let's go over here. We're on top of the amphitheater, baby. All right. Well, that works pretty good. What do we got left next on our list? Pretty good. I got a couple things. There's one mod that didn't work out. Yeah, I'm streaming right now, but there's nobody really here. What's that?
Oh no, I tweaked my shoulder. I don't know exactly how, but I think I'm gonna be on mowing duty for 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, that's fine.
It's
What did you do?
I'm not sure. It's just I think it was when I did dog bird and yoga the other day.
You're a dog bird?
Yeah, I think my shoulders are just not up for that, and yeah, I'm not 20 anymore.
I'm flying.
That's fun. But yeah, I just wanted to like not be mean and like heads up you as soon as possible. But like, how many have been able to push the line?
You need to stop dog birding it.
Yeah, no more. Gotta fill up the rincons in hand the backpack, otherwise life's gonna get real creative.
Yeah. City looks nice. All right, what should we try to add next? So I don't think I'm gonna get through everything tonight, but that's okay. I'm good for tonight, honey. Thank you, though. That's done. Headlights and trees. I haven't messed with. So the tricky thing about this is going to be a shader object update. So we can just use that plane right now. That's easy peasy. That's done. We need to combine shader objects with trees. That shouldn't be too hard. And then there's some additional stuff with trees. So that shouldn't be too hard. Headlight's going to be a little trickier because I'm going to have to look at my depth load files. The overheat thing is going to be a little trickier. That's basically done. This is going to be a little tricky to incorporate. That's going to take some extra comparing. So that's not happening tonight. We could easily do the shader thing right now. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to want to go to this link. And this should be the updated version, I think. Download releases here. Oh, that's just gibbed. Okay. Releases. Jump to present. Blastman. Demo. This shader stuff we'll probably definitely want to add to our Epic shader pack once we update that, but we're not doing that yet. Here's parallels things. So they said this is their LUT thing with dithering. That they did on the 17th. Okay, so the 17th one, it was the latest version. Okay. So that's what we want to make sure that we got the latest version. I think we already have it, but we'll download it again anyway. Yes, overwrite. All right. So for this, oh no, it is a separate shaders. I thought somebody already had the compiled version of that. All right, well, we got to do it anyway. So, all right, let's get into shader objects and how do you deal with those? That'll be fun. So let's make a loose files thing so we can play around with these. Go back to our loose files folder. Do we have anything on dithering? Parallel dither. New. Old. Okay, so we probably already have the new stuff. Let's double check. We're just gonna create a folder called new. We're going to slap. Hold on. Yeah, shader object. We're just gonna slap this right here. And if we compare these, they'll hopefully be exactly the same. No, they're different. Why are they different? One thing's different. What? Oh no, a couple of things are different. New versus new. Okay. Now I'm confused. That says the 14th on it. All right, let's compare old and new. And that's only got a few different things. Interesting. New and old? New and old are identical. Okay, maybe I got my new and my old ones mixed up. Interesting. Hmm. I want to make sure I got the latest, so let's just do this. Let's go in releases from parallel lines. They put out the LUT thing. Here's the fixed a mistake with shader objects. That's in the downloads one. Okay. And then fixed a mistake with color grading. Ah. Then here's the original native dithering. And that they took out the download and just said go to downloads. So new should be the one. Yeah, I must have got these backwards. Must have got these backwards. Let's verify that actually, just to make sure. This is how paranoid I am sometimes. Mediafire. I should have an old copy of the dithering shader object here. Oh, it's the full shader object too. All right. All right, fuck it. This was from 310. Which, yeah, was around when they originally posted it. They updated it. I was 2 months later. All right, so let's go back to. So this is a DAT file, just like your patch files. So what do you do with DAT files? DAT fat files, you unpack them with gib unpack. Now you want to make sure you're using the latest version of gib unpack because it's got support for shader objects, which some of the older versions of gib don't. You can tell if it does by going to its projects folder, watchdogs folder, and files folder, and there should be a shader objects files list, which the older version of gib did not have. So that tells it how to unpack shader objects properly so it can name everything in here correctly. So we want to compare the objects folder with let's compare it with new. Or actually, let's compare it with N, which is what we think matches. Okay, that's about what I thought we would see. So let's get rid of identical items and let's get rid of items that are on the left. And let's expand all subfolders. So the right does have these PSO files, which are different. And the left has a bunch of extra stuff because it's a full shader object. But there aren't any just different files, I don't think. Yes, if I check these, yeah, there's nothing. There's a lot of identical ones. No. There's no different or identical ones. Interesting. Well, there's a lot of uniques on the left and some uniques on the right. All right, I don't know if that actually helps confirm anything for me. We're gonna call this OG. And we're just gonna throw all these there. New news, the one we made today. That's the one we want to use. So what we need to do to actually use this is we need to take our vanilla. We're going to create a new folder, call it V for vanilla. And we're going to take our shader objects from vanilla and copy them here. We're going to go to Give Tools and we're going to unpack vanilla shader objects. Simply removes most color banding, noticeable bloom, profiler. 3D Amigo not required. Important, make sure you have shader file objects. Give tools. If not, check in browser. So we want to look up at a bright light at night. Normally it's just like dithered banding that happens. And this object's supposed to just deband that. Now somebody merged these. Let's look at that really quick. So it's beta fog shaders and deband. What else do they do? We don't want to use beta fog shaders, so that really does not help us. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing we want to get. Make a note of that. Actually, if I go to releases, there'll be a note about that. All right, so we have our unpacked shader object from vanilla. I actually want to compare that to the OG one real quick. view, all the things, subfolders. Get rid of identical. So it's just got those PSO fixes. That's the only difference between it and vanilla, the OG one. So there's some additional fixes. If we compare vanilla engine shaders objects with new shader engine. So vanilla is here, and all right, so we don't care about the extra things on the left. And here's all the stuff on the right. So it's just still the same PSO fixes. What about the identical things? All right. So we got our vanilla unpacked. It's got the engines folder there. We want to go take the new engines folder, copy that, go into our vanilla. Actually, no. We want to make a combined. So we're going to take vanilla, make a copy of it. 40,000 files. Jesus Christ. Shader objects. I wonder why it takes forever to pack and unpack. All right, we're going to call this combined because this is what we want to use in our mod pack. So we're going to take combine. We're going to go to new. We're going to take its engine folder, copy it, go to combined, and paste. And that's going to add 42 files, apparently. And we're going to get rid of these and make new packed shader objects with those 42 extra files in it. And while it's doing that, we're gonna take this and slap it on the bottom of here. And save it. All right, so we got our new shader objects. We want to rename these to just shader object. Unpack. And then we want to let's make sure we have a backup of vanilla. We do. All right, so we want to go to our combined. We're just gonna call this latest. We're gonna go back to a combined and then grab these two files, copy them, and paste them here. Cancel. All right, so Yeah, those packed a bit bigger than. No, a bit smaller. Wait, 6 kilobytes? There, whoa. Hold on. Oh, no, it's bigger. It's like 4 times as big. That's crazy. Must not use the same compression. Interesting. All right. So that is different than a lot of mods because it's not dealing with patch files, it's dealing with these shader objects. Let's just make sure I did the right one here. Combined. Yeah, it's bigger. All right. Let's see if we can notice. We're still running a test version of the FOV thing, which I think I like it. So I think we will keep that. So we want to put that in our base mod, actually. All right, so we need to check nighttime by a street light and see if we see any dithering. So let's go ahead and make it nighttime. Let's do like 1800 hours. Taking a second for the city to catch up. And yeah, we need to run out to
What's the rush?
Got a lot of fucking nerve.
Oh, God.
I don't want to die.
What's your problem?
all right. Cold-blooded. All right. I don't really see. I see a little banding around the light, but not. Let's make it a little darker out. Let's go 24. I think it's pretty smooth.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, just honk away. What the heck? You act like it's you kidding me?
Is that necessary?
All right, it's looking pretty good.
Out now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
God, I don't want to.
Now I'm curious what behind.
911, please state the nature of your emergency.
Guys stealing your car. Get the cops over here.
Can you hear me? I need you to stay on the line.
Behind the dash view in a limo. Now I'm curious what it looks like in body cam view.
Get out.
Oh, truck. Oh, truck's a little off in body cam view. Alright, not as far back as I thought it would be. Oh, it's funny, you could turn around and look at the gas and speed. Oh yeah, let's actually go to a gas station. Where is a gas station? Let's find a gas station. They should actually be marked on the map now. Crafting. Oh yeah, it's Tobias. Oh, here's a gas station. There you go.
Southbound train arriving shortly.
Gas station. I don't think I ever pulled a limo up to a gas station before. So all you should have to do is stop near a pump, and then you should get the Q symbol, and then yeah, cost me $9 to go back up to 100%. That's how the gas station mod works. Pretty crazy. Alright. So aniscopic filtering and debanding seem to be working. Alright, let's get a good look at trees too. Where are we at on the map? So we're right down by... Yeah, there's Paling Correction Center. So we're right in the corner of the bottom of the loop there, near the gas station. So I want to do beta trees. So I really want to see what the difference is. And that's got some shader object changes too, so we're gonna have a little fun with that. Alright. So we got our combined shader objects. Headlight's gonna be a little trickier. Tree's gonna be a little tricky. That's pretty much done, actually. We can just copy that over. So really these four things are what I want to work on. But I think we're gonna have to save that for tomorrow. Shouldn't be too bad though. This is gonna be the hardest one. This is just gonna be a lot of things to double check. But I think we'll be good. Trees should be pretty easy. E3 headlights will be a little difficult dealing with the depth load file. I might make two different versions of that just to test. Both of these are really only going to affect the classic flavor mod. So before I quit, I think I want to go ahead and get the ultra-wide fixes into my base patch because right now they're only in the test patch. So let's open back up classic UI. And let's go for the extra, no. Is it extras? No, Ultrawide fix right there, number 4. So we want to put these in our base patch. So let's Yeah, I think we're done with loose files for tonight. We need Gibbs still. Shader objects from dband. We can get rid of that. EMP. Here we go. This is what we want to mess with. So let's go ahead and kill test patch because we don't really need that anymore. And let's go ahead and go into our normal patch. And is it worlds? 20 city generated. Okay, yeah, we're fine there. I think we're good. That was the only one I was worried about was worlds 20 city generated DLC. We didn't have anything about the DLC before. And then these two files, I'm not too worried about. Fire UI HUD player 3 properties. I don't think anything in that is going to mess anything up. Worst case scenario, we can always get them from our 1.777 patch. But from our preliminary testing with our test patch 1 patch seemed pretty good. So let's get back out to here. Ultrawide fixes. Grab these. Throw them in my base patch. Replace. Alright. So now we got Ultrawide fixes. Cool. Let's go back here. So we've added Bob Smooth Cam, Ultrawide fixes, native dithering. Did we ever list aniscopic filtering on our original? 16x. No, we never did list that. Source texture collections. Oh, and aniscopic filtering. Okay, so we did list that before. So yeah, I think it was in my base mod before. We just reverted to that. I wanted to go to this aniscopic filtering, but did not like it. We should message that guy that there was a weird outline issue, but he may already be aware of that. So yeah, that's going to take a little bit of comparing. Beta trees is just going to take some shader stuff. Headlight's going to be a little tricky. And that's going to be a little tricky. So I think we get a good another 2 hours of work just to put all these in and test them, make sure they work. So yeah, we will have to finish that tomorrow. So let's actually make this. Yeah, we'll make this our 0527 build, which Watch Dogs release dates May 27th. So, yep, we should work on it tomorrow. We'll have it ready for Watch Dogs' birthday. All right, cool. All right. So it looks like my beta, 63 people have tried out my current beta version. We will be updating that and making official beta release tomorrow. Got everything we needed from Classic UI. Source texture collection, I want to verify, but that's where aniscopic filtering collections came from. This is the overheat thing. What does that update? Let's make sure I got the latest version of this. I don't think this one is that complicated. We will want to compare it, but I think it's only one or two files. Oh, now this one will be a little bit of tricky because it is our entity library, but I think it's only like two files or two parts inside the entity library from what I remember. So it actually does have a little bit of trickiness to it, but it'll be a good thing to go over on a mod stream. So we're using all of this stuff in my mod pack from Parallel Lines. Yeah. So my beta build here, look forward to a new update tomorrow. And we're going to have all the rest of this stuff in, and then in another few weeks, we'll look at adding some more stuff. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it there. If you haven't already, definitely check out my mod pack on Nexus Mods. It's just under Watch Dogs Mods. It's mod number 269 for Watch Dogs 1. Or just look for Epic Mod Pack or EMP on Nexus Mods. And then if you want the beta version, go here. The rest of the versions are just under files. You got my stable build, which I'll make this more clear later once I add the beta here to the main files. Right now it's just a link. But I'm going to add the latest version of the beta here. I'll make that clear that the beta is a test version and the 1777 is the stable version. So you will have multiple options there. And yeah, enjoy. Have a good night. Thank you for stopping by and stay cool. Yeah.